Harare, Zimbabwe. Welcome to Tech Mad News, where we give you insight on stories making the headlines. My name is Raquel Kambasha, and I'm joined in studio by
Chikwandi Mandala.
And the stories making the headlines. In the Daily News, we've got Sickly Chiwenga airlifted to China. And in the Herald, uninspected meat, Operation Nyamaya Bepi underway. And in the Newsday, Zim confronts coronavirus. Now, to delve more into the news in detail, Sickly Chiwenga airlifted to China. Ailing Vice President Constantino Chiwenga, pictured, was in fact airlifted to China on Sunday as health woes continued. Powerful former military commander. This comes after the Daily News reported exclusively in its Monday edition that Chiwenga was once again not feeling well and that he had been ordered by his doctors to take a rest. It also comes after he missed two important events, including a field day that was hosted by President Emerson Mnangagwa at his Kwekwe farm, triggering speculation that there was bad blood between the two men. Now, I don't know about this, but apparently he's the only official that has traveled in the last few months, which kind of causes a bit of a health scare, but we do hope in China he's getting the best medication he can.
Yes, we most certainly that he does. And that he's not at risk considering the coronavirus that's in China right now. In other news, schools must close over coronavirus. The Zimbabwe Teachers Association and Progressive Teachers Union of Zimbabwe are calling on the government to close all schools as a preventative measure against the coronavirus, which has claimed thousands of lives globally. This comes as neighboring country, South Africa, announced that all schools will be closed from today until after the Easter holidays as a way to halt the spread of the killer virus that has infected 61 people by the end of this day on Sunday. In other news.
All right, I think the problem is everything is corona right now.
Yes.
Every single paper, you're flipping a page, you're seeing corona, you're flipping another page.
Panic.
There
People
is.
are panicking.
There is. And the problem is we're now all worried. I think somewhere, somehow, we need a bit of a lighter tone on this, and as much as, because I feel like that's what's going to kill us.
Yes. People will probably die before they're actually infected.
Before you even get infected, you're thinking, oh my, you're sneezing, you're like,
Corona
this.
coming.
Exactly. But in other news, we've also got Sakunda throws down the gauntlet. Sakunda Holdings yesterday said it executed above board the financing of Command Agriculture and challenged Parliament, if in doubt, to call for a joint sitting of the energy company and the Ministries of Agriculture and Finance to iron out sticking issues. Appearing before the National Assembly's Public Accounts Committee, chaired by MDC MP for Harare East, Tendai Biti yesterday, Sakunda Holdings Chief Operations Officer, Beri Kwazro Chitambo, profusely denied that the firm has captured the state and its institutions in a bid to draw financial benefits through government projects. And in other news we've got for you today, government restricts Zanu PF, MP up for fraud.
Mujenge's Zanu PF legislator Cecil Kashiri appeared in court facing fraud charges after allegedly conniving with Zimbabwe Revenue Authority officers to invade payment of import duty for a vehicle he imported from South Africa last year. Kashiri appeared before Harare magistrate Barbara Mateko on Saturday and was released on bail before the case was remanded to April 23 pending financializing of investigations. In other news.
In other news for you today, we've also got government restricts trading in shares of 3 firms. Now, this one was a bit controversial, seeing as, okay, we will talk about that. First, let me get into the detail. The government restricts trading in shares of 3 firms. Finance Minister Mthuli Ncube restricted trading in 3 companies' stocks to try and hold a rout of the nation's currency. The measure to limit trading of dual-listed shares, Old Mutual Limited, PPC Limited, and Seedco will be in place for a year, Mube said in a government gazette. The order doesn't have any impact on the settlement of transactions in the stocks conducted before March 13, as long as they were effected by March 18, Mube said. Old Mutual Stocks also trades in London and South Africa, PPC in South Africa, and Seedco in Botswana. Such dual listings and differing exchange rates can offer arbitrage opportunities. The ministry's action means the three stocks are no longer fungible or regarded as being equal value to those traded on other exchanges. The Zimbabwe Stock Exchange's Chief Executive Officer, Justin Ngoni, said that the government's action was disappointing and would only increase foreign investor flight from the country. Now, I believe that with such a headline, it begs the question that how open is Zimbabwe open for business? This is the mantra that has been running. But if we've got three firms that have been restricted to trade, how far is Zimbabwe actually open for business?
That is a good question.
Well, here we go. Give us other news in Newsday today.
In other news, Zim confronts coronavirus. 2 Chinese nationals were yesterday admitted at Wilkins Hospital for coronavirus. Resort tested positive soon after returning to the United Kingdom. A family in Bulawayo went into self-quarantine after visiting neighboring South Africa to consult a doctor who later reported that one of his patients had tested positive to the virus. On Sunday, March 15, the ministry received a report of a suspected case in Bulawayo. This suspected case involves a female traveler who traveled from South Africa to Zimbabwe on Tuesday, March 19, the health ministry said in a statement. See, I feel like with this, it is this news that has people panicking, and just knowing that we are at risk here in Zimbabwe. This virus is slowly seeping in, and they're not ready for it.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, just in studio today, I'll tell you what Chikondi did. We were talking about coronavirus. Then all of a sudden, we're talking about how we've got a few people that have been diagnosed. From nowhere, she says, yay, corona's finally here. Now, it begs the question.
That is not true. That is not true. I did not say that. I did not.
I mean, are you excited? What are your feelings?
Why
really? Are you scared? Or are you, like, you've been waiting for it?
I'm just glad that it's now out in the open and people actually know instead of just hiding it from people. So at least now we can talk about it, discuss it. People can prepare, not hide it from them.
Okay.
I'm not excited. Who would be excited?
I still go with her mantra, Corona, yay!
No.
But in other news for you today, we've also got Chiwenga's custody appeal takes a new twist. Vice President Constantino Chiwenga's dispute over custody of his children took a new turn yesterday after it emerged that his estranged wife, Mary Mbayiwa, had actually conceded to being mentally unstable while making her application for bail at the High Court. Apparently, Chiwenga had refused to release the couple's 3 children into Mary's custody on the basis that the latter was a drug addict and unsuitable to take care of the children. However, when the couple's custody dispute spilled into the Supreme Court on appeal yesterday, it then emerged that the High Court judge, Justice Christopher Dube Banda, who deliberated over the matter, did not deal with the application that was placed before him when he ruled in favor of Mary. This was revealed when Chiwenga, through his lawyers, submitted before Deputy Chief Justice Elizabeth Gwaunza and Justices Paddington Gare and Chinembiri Bunu that Justice Dube Banda misdirected himself when he granted Mary what purported to have been a spoliation order which she had not applied for. Now, we have been seeing this story for the last few weeks, and it's been taking one turn after the other. So I'm really just wondering that at the end of it all, where are these children really going to be? because they've been tossed from the mother to the father, and now it seems they've been taken from the mom again. So, I'm really wondering how far we're going to go. But what else do we have in the headlines?
Join Poland or get bitten, Kupe says to Chamisa. MDCT President Thokozani Kupe, who is a member of President Emerson Mnangagwa's Political Actors Dialogue, says rival MDC leader Nelson Chamisa should join the group and stop demonstrations to save his members from being beaten by the police. Kupe also pleaded with the Western countries that have imposed sanctions on Zimbabwe to forgive Mnangagwa, who is accused of human rights abuses. Give him a second chance and treat him the way the United States and European countries governments. In other news.
In other news for you today, we've also got police and Zanu PF clash over gold claims. Now, for the news in detail, Zanu PF was last week forced to dispatch a high-powered delegation on a fact-finding mission to Muzi district after illegal miners, who are its members, were driven out of gold-rich Makaha area under Operation Chikorokoza Chapera to pave way for legal mining activities. The delegation was dispatched after some party members doing mining activities in the troubled area reported the matter to the provincial leadership during a meeting held in Marondera, accusing police officers of extorting and harassing them. The members also revealed that some villagers were now living in hills following a crackdown by police. And recently, it showed that at least 240 gold panners and vendors were arrested in the blitz in Makaha, where machete gangs terrorized innocent people through rape and armed robberies. Now, this is certainly some news that I'm happy to hear about, because I believe popularly known as Mashurugi have been terrorizing us left, right, and center. And it's a good thing to know. I mean, hey, think about it. The government is actually doing something about that.
Yes, it is, because the public needs to feel protected.
Definitely.
It needs to feel safe. I know, for one, I would want to know that something is being done by someone who's terrorizing me.
There you are.
In other news, annual inflation hits 540%. The Zimbabwe National Statistics Agency, ZimStat, has reported an annual inflation rate of 540.16% as of last month due to the continued depreciation of the Zimbabwe dollar. The fall of the Zimbabwe dollar continues to drive the prices of consumer goods upwards as businesses seek to maintain the value of their wares, leaving the country in hyperinflation mode. The month-on-month inflation rate in February was 13.52%, gaining 11.29 percentage points on the January rate of 2.23%. The year-on-year inflation rate annual percentages change for the month of February, as measured by the all-item CPI, stood at 540.16%, said ZimStat on its Twitter account yesterday. What's your take on inflation here in Zimbabwe? It's really affecting our economy. Every day prices are going up, and the standards of living are just getting lower and lower.
If we are to be fair, I just feel like we're slowly moving towards 2008, in as much as we wouldn't want to believe it, but it seems as though that's where we're headed. And the worst part is now with the coronavirus, you've got prices of sanitizer shooting up, and think about it really. That's something that's now coming in plunging, hitting the economy before corona actually hits Zimbabwe in a drastic way.
In other countries, they're actually running out of tissue paper because they don't want to hold anything without the tissue paper. Do you think we will get to that point? Should this virus hit Zimbabwe? Would you buy tissue paper?
God willing, we're not getting there, so I'm not going to think about it. But just in for my producer right now, we've got news coming to you from TechMac. Monday Blues, Muchenje sacrificed over the Net1 ZTE deal. and Net One loses $6 million in UK arbitration case. Now, to delve into more detail on the Muchenje sacrifice over Net One ZTE deal, conspiracy has it that Lazarus Muchenje is all but suffering for scuttling the ZTE Net One deal. The same reason why today Net One is being slapped with a total of 4.9 million lawsuit, creating a rebirth of the ICT cartel if the narrative is true. Now, ZTE was blocked by suspended CEO Lazarus Muchenje and the current sitting board for offering billing services, effectively cancelling their contract, citing dollarization and cost effect of the contract. ZTE would have been paid around $10 million and continuous license renewal fees ballooning the cost. The CEO, Mr. Lazarus Muchenje, recommended to the board that it was not feasible for them to carry on with the ZTE deal due to the cost and foreign currency issue demanded in the arrangement, as government de-dollarized just before the contract was. Something else that also today, Net One loses $6 million in the UK arbitration case. While the focus lately has been on suspended Net One CEO and the already resigned board members, the state-owned mobile network has been slapped with a massive, the figures are quite big here, they have been slapped with $6,764,632 with interest for contract violation, which must be a bigger headache and point of focus for the remaining board members. Now, Formula Telecom Solutions Limited, an Israel-based company, which was contracted by Net One, has won a UK court arbitration over contract violation, which they entered and was illegally terminated by Net One. That is something that, this whole fiasco has been mainly centered around the CEO, but it just seems as though Net One is now in for an even bigger scandal with the recent case that they lost. Now, I don't know what else you've got for us in detail for the headlines.
So, UFIC to build schools and clinics. Sunningdale and Kuwadzana high-density suburbs are set to benefit from schools. Agape Family Care, AFC, a charity church in Harare, is building a secondary school and the People's Market in Sunningdale, while Council is building a satellite clinic and a primary school in Kuwadzana. This is certainly good news. I believe that we do need more schools and clinics around here. We can never have enough of those.
Definitely. And lastly, we have for you today in the Herald, don't blame anyone for COVID-19. President Mnangagwa, in a formal statement, stressed that coronavirus, responsible for the global outbreak of COVID-19, is a purely natural phenomenon, is no one's fault, and needs scientific solutions to prevent its spread. He expressed empathy, solidarity, and support for all countries already affected and has strongly urged all Zimbabweans to follow strictly the medical advice already given while scientists work on solutions, and the government intensifies its already considerable efforts to prepare Zimbabwe to cope with any outbreak. In his words, this is the worst global pandemic in our lifetimes, perhaps the greatest threat to humanity since the Great Wars of the last century. We have all seen the news. We have all witnessed the tragic scenes in China, Iran, Italy, and other countries around the world. I think the only take home I have in terms of corona and the fact that I haven't seen it on every other page is we should definitely be taking heed to every single thing that we are being told by other medical institutions, doctors, on how we can take care of ourselves.
Definitely, I agree. I definitely agree. In other news, bank launches future makers to empower youths. Standard Chartered Bank Zimbabwe last Friday unveiled the Future Makers initiative in collaboration with the Junior Achievement Zimbabwe as part of efforts to groom and empower the youth with life-changing opportunities. The program is directed to empower the disadvantaged young people from low-income households, particularly girls and the people with visual impairments, to take part in programs focused on education and entrepreneurship. Future Makers seeks to raise $50 million between now and 2023 through fundraising in order to support disadvantaged young people and empower them to learn and establish their small businesses. And lastly,
we have for you, Sakunda explains agric financing role. Sakunda Holdings says it helps to facilitate command agriculture by structuring finance facilities to pay input suppliers. The company's chief operating officer, Charles Chitambo, told the Parliamentary Portfolio Committee on Public Accounts yesterday that they did use the treasury bills received from government to structure financing facilities for the program that started in 2016. This is the time where the market or the rules allowed us to provide funding in an account here and wait in a queue for an allocation. There was a time when that was not allowed. At that point, you needed to be structuring. You had to be persuading a bank to open a letter of credit on your behalf, promising someone in Belarus, Singapore, or China to supply chemicals or fertilizer, and you needed the wits around you to come up with the structure, said Mr. Chitambo. Now, it does seem like we did have quite a mouthful here in terms of our headlines, Corona being some of them. We also had the Vice President, Constantino Chiwenga, also making the headlines today. But from us today, that's all we had for you.